This is a video response to Satanic Coffee Pot. It contains a lot of opinions on the gun control debate. If this is not a subject you're interested in, I would suggest you skip this video and watch something else. I prefer writing because I don't gather my thoughts for the crap in my head. I don't speak extempore very well at all. I like to write stuff down so I have time to think about it and before I, make a fool of myself, which I'll probably do anyway. See? I am not anti-gun by any stretch of the imagination. I saw your PSA announcement showing the rifle that, I don't care if you call it an assault rifle, I don't care if it's called an assault type rifle, I don't care if it's called a military rifle, I don't care if it's a semi-automatic, I don't care if you call it Bob. It's a weapon. And you put up there that it was the premise was, see, by themselves they do nothing. They require a person. A car won't run over somebody unless somebody sits behind the wheel and runs over somebody. So that statement to me is a straw man. That sets up a straw man argument. The gun control issue, I would like to see background checks and not have, they stopped that. The gun lobby stopped even background checks. It's wrong where you can walk into a gun show and any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street can walk out with a weapon and a magazine that can hold 30 rounds in it with no background check. You brought up, you were pretty insistent on the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, and it was like this thing written in stone. The Constitution has a lot of things written that you would say are in stone. If we went in stone on everything in the Constitution, then black folks would be, 3/5 of a person. Women wouldn't have the vote. The Constitution needs to be a living document so that it can be adapted and amended to fit the times. And if I realize that I'm coming from a very idealistic point of view, but it doesn't mean that I can't keep hoping for it. See, I speak horribly when I don't have stuff written down. Let me see what else I can get myself into trouble with here. I also go back to the forefathers. A lot of when people want to hold them up as gods, they were white, wealthy men, landowners who owned slaves, who didn't want to pay taxes. And now they're very intelligent, they're highly educated, and yes, they gave the ultimate sacrifice, and most of them died poor and in poverty for what they believed in. And so there's a lot of respect there. I'm not anti-American and all that. I just like to give other perspective to it. This is obviously recorded at a later time, but in the time it took me to edit the first thing, because I don't speak well on a straight line, I have to gather my thoughts. You put up another video and you're very angry with the Sandy Hook families speaking their mind before on the Senate floor or the Congress, wherever you said it was. And I wanted to comment on that. You mentioned that you didn't think it was right that they should be able to influence the debate on gun control. I don't have a problem with somebody influencing a debate. They were on the Senate floor. The NRA was on the Senate floor. They put forth their ideas, and so do the folks that were affected by the tragedies they put on. I think it's a good idea to get as much information, whether it's from the heart or, I know you don't think they have any facts, but they do bring facts too. It's not just emotions they're bringing. They are bringing numbers that are factual numbers. You can look them up. They have the same First Amendment right that pro NRA folks have. They can speak their mind. I mean, I don't think you should be able to hold them back, and you know, you seem to really get angry with them speaking their mind, and they haven't persuaded anybody to do anything yet. You know, the gun lobby is so powerful that they won't even let it come to a debate. I mean, when it comes to the vote, they have to have over 60 to get past the filibuster rule, and they managed to squash common sense things like I said before earlier in the video, which is the background checks. I mean, 90% of NRA members think we ought to have full-on background checks, and you said that you were upset that it might take too long for the background check and there's so much backlog on it and it's a flawed system and you don't like that part of it. Well, I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Sorry. I think because if there's a flaw in the system of the background check, don't throw away background checks. Fix the flaw in the system of the background check. The background check is a good thing. And we agree on that. That's another thing I wanted to say, is that Erik and I agree on a lot more things than we disagree. There's only a few points that we disagree on, and we are, you know, rationally discussing those points. I've looked down my notes again. In your latest video, Erik, you mentioned you hold up a little pamphlet book of the Constitution and the Federalist Papers and things like that, saying that, you know, folks like me or people who disagree with you ought to read these things. Well, Erik, that's kind of insulting. You know, just because we don't agree with your point of view doesn't mean we haven't read the Constitution or fully understand the Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment and on and on. So in closing, I'd like to say I don't want to take anybody's guns away from them. I just would like to see common sense measures taken to prevent guns from getting into the hands of people who shouldn't have guns. For what context, I am a gun owner. I have a Taurus revolver 357. I have a Ruger Blackhawk 357. I have a Smith & Wesson 357. All revolvers. I have a Browning rifle and a Winchester rifle and a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun. That's my VR. Back to you.